I think Rutgers is winning double-digit games, and I think that they could compete for the college football playoff. Not exactly that they will, but they'll be competing for that, and they'll win double-digit games. The reasoning for that is their top 10 in returning production, whether it's Gavin Wimsatt, who portaled out, or Ethan Kaliakmanis. I thought Wimsatt would win the job. I was obviously wrong, but ultimately Kaliakmanis was the best fit for the staff, and the quarterbacks weren't really that different. What I'm more concerned about is the fact that Monangai comes back, most of their O-line comes back, they return Christian Dremel, who is a good receiver, and defensively, they return Mohamed Toure, Robert Longerbeam. I forget that one defensive lineman that they bring back, defensive end, their main defensive end, but they return him, much of their interior defensive line. Aaron Lewis is who I was mentioning at edge.
Oh
So
yeah.
they have a lot of returning players, and then Jai Patel at kicker. So a lot of roster continuity, a lot of staff continuity. And here is their schedule. And this will make more sense to some of you as well when we talk about our Big Ten power rankings. Rutgers hosts Akron after they host Howard. Those are their first two games. Then they have a bye week. They play at Virginia Tech, host Washington, play at Nebraska, host Wisconsin, host UCLA, play at USC, have another bye week, host Minnesota, play at Maryland, host Illinois, play at Michigan State. Certainly not the easiest schedule in the world, but by Big Ten standards, that is pretty easy. No Penn State, no Oregon, no Michigan, no Ohio State. None of them. None. Virginia Tech, in my opinion, could be the best team on their schedule. And I don't think Virginia Tech's a top 15 team. I think they're top 25. But if USC's still down, if Nebraska continues to fumble all their opportunities away, and Wisconsin is still trying to find their identity, and Virginia Tech, everything goes right for them because they're, I think, number 2 in returning production, and they have some good players. They could have a schedule whereas last year they faced 3 teams that were power rated top 5 or higher for much of the season. They don't face any of those type of teams. So, what are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate this at all. I really like this. And you go back to their schedule, really after USC and their last four in Minnesota, Maryland, Illinois, Michigan State, they should be able to win all four of those, which is winning games down the stretch for me is huge. Especially just going into for momentum purposes. And, they got their cupcakes on there. Virginia Tech, like you said, that's going to be a tough game. At Nebraska, Nebraska's a tough place to play. But they get Wisconsin at home, which I think is huge. I think Wisconsin is very good. At USC, USC is really an outlier in the excuse me, an outlier in the Big Ten. But I really like the fact that they bring back Kyle Monangai. Monangai, in my opinion, will probably again be the best running back in the Big Ten, yardage wise, probably, with the amount of times that they run the ball. And they play a prototypical Big Ten style of play. They're going to have a good defense. Like you said, they're really, I mean, they have a lot of returning production on their team. Um, the one problem I have with Rutgers is Kaliakmanis. I mean, he was bad last year. I mean, he wasn't very good last year.
He was
So,
terrible.
I mean, lost the job to an FCS guy in Max Brosmer. That's another conversation. But, they'll give it to Monangai 400 times a game. So, presumably that would kind of mitigate Kaliakmanis. And Kaliakmanis definitely had room to grow. So, presumably, if he does grow, maybe we'll be competent.
the
Maybe. But Rutgers, 10 plus wins. I put this at uh, probably about a 3.5, 3.
That's
I think
exactly
a
what I
three.
was thinking.
I think a 3 is good there because it's not outrageous with this schedule, especially if they go out and beat Virginia Tech on the road. Um, having Washington come across country, I think that that'll be a huge advantage. They could go into the Nebraska game undefeated, and if they do drop a game at Virginia Tech or at Nebraska, that's not the end of the world for them. I mean, they would just have to win versus Wisconsin or at USC, and I think they'll probably split that, be it they win at USC or win versus Wisconsin. So really, I don't disagree with this at all. Will they win 10 games? I don't think so. In reality, I think they might drop one or two. But this is the essence of a bold prediction, right?
Exactly. Yeah, 3.5, maybe 4. Part of me thinks 4, but I'll settle with 3.5 only because after watching a lot of spring games for the Big Ten and looking at the portal, I think their schedule in my mind is tougher now than it was a month ago. But that's just me, and it's still overall a pretty easy schedule by Big Ten standards. And yeah, I mean, what they'll do is they'll run it all the time. They'll chew clock. They'll force turnovers. Only teams who are physical in the trenches will be able to dominate them. And the only teams that really are that physical in the trenches are Michigan and Oregon. Maybe Ohio State at parts on defense, I would say. Offense, there's a lot of questions there on their O-line. And I really do, and I really do think it's Oregon and Michigan in terms of physicality. And they don't play them. They don't play Ohio State, who has really good skill players and probably the nation's, or at least Big Ten's, best defense coming back. Though Michigan could have something to say about that, or Penn State or Iowa. They even avoid Iowa, who's their lookalike in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll hand it off to Monangai all the time. Kyle Monangai will have one or two toxic deep shots. He'll hit one of them. And they'll beat some teams to death with field goals and just running it. I think they'll be a lot like 2021 Michigan, just a Walmart, less talented version. And I think that'll help them win a lot of their games. Thank you so much for watching this episode of College Football with Sam. I appreciate it. And I would appreciate it even more if you were to hit that like button, comment your thoughts on this video down below, hit that big red subscribe button, and also click that notification bell so that your phone, laptop, or whatever device you use can ding or buzz whenever I release new content and notify you about it so that you can watch more videos like this. College Football with Sam is the best Big Ten football channel on YouTube. We're going to be doing a giveaway when we hit 20,000 subscribers, and we're trying to become one of the best, if not the best, college football channels on YouTube. Your support means so much, and to those of you who are subscribed to my Patreon or purchase merchandise from my store, the links to those are down in the description and pinned comment. Thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to my Patreons. Thanks to Crash2488 for being a Heisman member. Thanks to Spencer Bringhurst, Chris Lane, and Connor Little OH for being All-American members. And thanks to Will Loftus, John Lynn, Roaming Gnome, Matthew Sale, Austin Christmas, and Janisha Cockrell for being All-Conference members. Have a great day, guys. And if you're listening on Spotify or any non-YouTube podcast platform, please check the link in the channel description to find my YouTube channel. And if you're listening on YouTube, feel free to check out my Spotify, if you so please. Have a great day, guys, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.